And you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. Why the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. They always suck, and they always will suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. Oh, man, I'll tell you. Anybody out there at all going to spend any time with me here? I greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here. Usually watch them go a little bit longer than that, but anybody got anything to say, just please fire away, put it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So anything that gets put in there, I always try to comment on as fast as I can. So please fire away. All right. Before I get started, anybody who wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, okay, there's a top link. It takes you to like my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called the Saquon, the second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own perks to them, okay? They have loyalty badges. It's pretty cool. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each one is a Giants helmet. Now, the older the helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. Pretty cool. I have 4 different emojis made up. Eventually, there will be a 5th one coming out. But there's 4 of them right now. They're pretty cool. I had them made up on Fiverr. Every time I look at them, I get a freaking kick at them. They're pretty cool. So you can use them in the chat box. I guess if you put making a comment or something like that. So anybody who wants to help support my channel, please, it would mean the absolute world to me, and I thank you in advance. Anybody's not subscribed to my channel, okay, click the subscribe button below and hit the bell icon, all right? And that way, next time I go live or I put a video out or something, you'll be notified, and it's free of charge. As of right now, I got 4,266 subscribers. What the heck's today? Today's the first, second. So yesterday I ended with 4,255. Now I'm up to 4,266. So I've gone up 11 subscribers. And the day's not even over with. I mean, I think there's still a few hours left in the YouTube algorithm, whatever you want to call it. So I've gone up 11 subscribers today. So, I mean, every day I'm going up like 5 to 10 subscribers, if not more. It's absolutely phenomenal. And everybody who has subscribed to me, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And finally, in the description box below, okay, there's 3 different links, Facebook links, right? The top one is to a Facebook group. Okay, it's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's just like my the YouTube channel, right? The New York Giants, the Gridiron. The same thing with the group, the New York Giants, the Gridiron. We have over 1,900 members in there. Okay, we get more every day, and I try to put, what the heck did I just put in there? I mean, I at least I put in 1, 2. I put a video out. Video. 1, 2. So with the video, it's 3. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just put like 11 different things between like pictures, posts, and videos and all that. Like in the past like hour, I put like 11 things up, and I'm still not done. I'm still gonna have more stuff to put up before I go to bed tonight. You know, it's always. It's 7 days a week. I always try to put up at least like 10 different things every day in the group. Okay, and the nice thing about it, if you're a member of the group, right, basically you just click on it and just join, become a member. It's not only do I put stuff in there, but the members put stuff in there too. So between the stuff I put, as I said, I put up my 10 pictures, posts, or videos every day, and then some of the members put stuff in there as well too. So I mean, there's plenty of stuff going in there every day. So please click on that link and become a member, right? And then there's 2 other additional links, Facebook links, okay? there's the bottom one, okay, it's called This Day in New York Giants History, or football, New York Football Giants History. If you want, you can click on that and like it and become a follower. I'm not quite as involved in that one right now because between the way the season's been going, between the YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and the Facebook page, it's just taking up like 2 to 3 hours every day, and that's pretty much 7 days a week. So the bottom link, the one to the This Day in New York Giants History, I'm not as involved in that one. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping maybe after the season's over with or somewhere down along the line, I will become more involved in it. But right now, I'm not. But the middle link, okay, it's a page, right? New York Giants, the Gridiron, very original, I know. As of right now, we got 483 people who like it. There's over 1,400 people following it. Every day, I'm getting like 10 to 20 new people following it. It's just, it's really, really doing well, really well. As I said, the same thing here. I mean, I just put in like probably about another 10 things here in the past like hour or two. So between the group and the page, I put like between like posts, and I made a couple videos, and, pictures and stuff like that. I mean, I put in like, at least 20 different things between the page and the group. And I don't commingle, meaning, whatever I put in the page, I don't put on the group. Okay, so it's not like if you go in a group and if you get one, you get it, it's in the other. No, it's usually everything's pretty much different. Okay, so please click on the group, become a member, and click on the page, like it and follow it. Okay, so I mean between the two, there's a lot of stuff that goes in there every day. As I said, it's pretty much 7 days a week. I spend a couple hours a day putting stuff in there, right? And as always, if you're not satisfied, your money back guarantee. All right. So all that said and done, I want to go over the team and player grades. All right. After the thrashing the Giants laid upon the Colts yesterday, according to PFF. All right. There's just some interesting grades here. Very, very interesting. I'm going to the team. I'm not sure. I don't know what some of those guys are smoking over there, PFF. But when I go to the team, I'll point some things out here. But let's start here first, okay, with the offense. Okay. Now I think this is the first time the Giants have had 4 players, okay, with over 80. Okay, graded out over 80. Now, of course. We got Matt Breida. I tell you what, man, the guy ran hard. Wasn't in there a lot, but man, when he was in there and he had the ball, man, ran hard. That's good to see. Really good to see. Okay, you can see he just enjoys being out there. He was in there for just 12 snaps. Okay, but he graded out over 80. But the number one guy. Okay, so good old Richie James was in there for a grand total of 50. Okay. We had 87.5. His passing grade was 89.1. His run blocking needs a little be desired, but his overall was 87.5. Now, I tell you what, I mean, the one beautiful thing, okay, is as the season's kind of going on, okay, and we're getting toward the end of the season. I mean, you figure even at the absolute best, sadly, I mean, the thing I hate about the season starting is like it seems like it starts and like you snap your fingers and it's over with. The thing I hate about they say, the season's almost over with. Then we got to go through everything again and wait for next season. But obviously, we still have this game. We have at least one playoff game, and at the absolute best, the Giants have 5 more games that they can play. Let's keep our fingers crossed, right? Would be against the Eagles, 3 in the playoffs, and the Super Bowl, right? So at the absolute most, okay? But the nice thing is that we played, so far we played 16 games, okay? And you kind of hope, right, that a lot of the stuff is working its way out, especially as far as next year, like with maybe who the wide receivers the Giants might wind up having, okay, trying to keep. Now, hopefully we can maybe bring Sterling Shepard back, okay, because he's not signed next year. But because he gets injured all the time, hopefully he'll be on the cheap, okay? He wants to be here, right? I'm sure, the organization wants him here. Fans want him here, right? So hopefully we can re-sign him. We got Wan'Dale Robinson. Okay. Bellinger is starting to, come on. Would be nice maybe if we can get like another guy, another nice tight end. Would be nice. Somebody like Daniel Bellinger, we'll see. But I mean, you got, as I said, but between Hodgins and Richie James, right? I mean, as we take Bellinger out, but I mean, those 4 wide receivers right there. Okay. Galladay's gone. We'll have to wait and see what they want to do with Slayton. Now, according to Spot Track, his market value is only like $3.5 million. I'd have a hard time believing he's only going to get $3.5 million, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they bring him back. We'll have to wait and see. And Kenny Golladay even he had in there. He had 7 snaps yesterday. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable, huh? So that's interesting to see then, so between Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, okay, as I said, hopefully with Hodgins and hopefully we can bring Richie James back. That would be 4 real nice wide receivers, okay? Then if we maybe in the draft, we can draft because we still need, I mean, really, you need someone that can take the top off, or just go D or whatever, the defense. We need somebody. We don't have a number 1 wide receiver. Okay. I don't know if Hodgins could be a number 1 wide receiver. I don't really think so. You got with Sterling Shepard, with Richie James and Wan'Dale Robinson, you got a lot of maybe slot receivers, guys that can, can make catches close, run the patterns, get open, make it, but you need somebody, obviously the more the merrier, but you need at least one guy like an Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know if we're going to be bringing him back, but somebody like him who could take the top off the defense, right? That's what the Giants really, really need. So, I mean, I said between Richie James doing well here, hopefully he's working his way back into the Giants lineup next year. Now, I know people wanted to run him out of town, and I was one of them after, certainly don't want to say he single-handedly blew the game against the Seahawks, but his 2 punt fumbles basically gave the Seahawks 2 touchdowns. I mean, obviously the Seahawks had to earn the touchdowns, but if he didn't fumble the ball, right, the Giants punted the ball back to the Seahawks. The Seahawks were not walking up and down the field all game, right? So, that game should have been closer without those turnovers. But you'll notice what happened, right? Well, we lost to the Lions. What happened? We turned the ball over. We lost to the Vikings. What happened? We turned the ball over, right? We lost to the Seahawks. What happened? We turned the ball over. So when we turn the ball over and we don't go tit for tat, like we get 2 turnovers, we get 2 back or something. When we lose the turnover battle, okay, we usually wind up losing the game, okay? But Richie James was an 87.5. Andrew Thomas, right, 82.4. His pass blocking grade, 88.2. Matt Breida was only in it for 12 snaps, 82.4. And Daniel Jones, once again, 81.9. Now, Daniel Jones, what is he rated out at here? 76.7 on the season, okay? Last 2 games, 81.9 against Indianapolis and 85.3, okay? I mean, against the Commanders, he graded a 75.8. Even against the Eagles, when we got blown out 312,000 to 2, he graded out a 78, okay? So, I mean, he had against Seattle, he had a bad game, 38.3. But, I mean, he's had some good games. The first 3 games, he didn't really grade out unbelievably high, according to PFF. Okay, but tell you what, the last 4 games he's graded out over 75 in the last 4 games. So, all right, so he's doing pretty good. He's playing himself into a nice payday for himself. Then we got Mark Lewinsky. Okay, he graded out a 76.5. All right, Evan Neal, 73.8. Now this has got to be his best game. 73.8. He graded out against Baltimore. He graded out a 70.5. So this is against the Indianapolis, the Colts. He graded a 73.8. That was his best game. It was his best pass blocking grade, according to PFF. Okay. And it was his second best run blocking grade, according to PFF. So he had a very good game. Okay, we're going to, last time against the Eagles, he graded out at 35.7. We're going to need for him to do better. Okay. All right. Hodgins graded out at 70.6. Daniel Bellinger graded out at 67.4. Ben Bredesen, you see with Bellinger, his pass blocking grade there was a 28.9. All right. Ben Bredesen, 60.2. Now what do we got? Okay, Ben Bredesen and Nick Gates basically split the time. Nick Gates graded out at 51. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Nick Gates going forward. They're going to try to keep, we got maybe Ben Bredesen, right, as our left guard, maybe Feliciano, right? This is it for him after the season's over with, and then they slide Nick Gates in the center, maybe, possibly. Be interesting to see. Tyrod Taylor came in for 8 snaps. He graded out of 60. Marcus Johnson, who's in there for 11 snaps, graded out 59.2. Feliciano was in there for 53 snaps, graded out 58.7. Chris Myrick was in there for 6 snaps, graded out of 58. Matt Parrott was in there for 6 snaps, graded out of 57.7. Gary Brightwell, 5 snaps, graded out 56.6. Saquon Barkley was in there for 50 snaps, 53.9. I would rest that guy. I would just give him, I would give him rest. I would rest him, and I would Leo the Lion rest him too against the Eagles. Because Leo needs he needs rest. Definitely needs rest. Nick Vannett was in there for 15 snaps, graded out of 51.2. Nick Gates said he was in there for 37 snaps, graded out of 51. His pass blocking was at 27.1. He had 14 pass blocking snaps, graded at 27.1. Kenny Golladay, as I said, was in there for 7 snaps, 49.5. Tyree Phillips was in there right tackle for 10 snaps, graded out of 49. And Darius Slayton was in there for 52 snaps, graded out of 46.7. So then we go to the defensive side. Now, Landon Collins, right, with Mr. Pick Six, right? Last time he had a pick six was in 2016, the last time the Giants made the playoffs, right? Landon Collins was number 1. He graded at 89.4. His coverage grade was a 92.4, right? So Nick McLeod was in there for 32 snaps, graded out an 83. Zion Gilbert was in there for 9 snaps, graded out of 79.3. Sexy Dexy, 78.3. Kayvon Thibodeau graded out of 77.8. Jalen Smith had another very good game, 73.6. Darnay Holmes, 72.3. Tony Jefferson was in there 72. He graded out at, he was in there for 19 snaps. Xavier McKinney, not bad, coming back after like a 2-month layoff. He was in there for 48 snaps. He said he was very tired after the game. Graded out at 66.6. Julian Love, 66.4. Jihad Ward was a 62.2. Cordell Flott was in there for 35 snaps. He graded out of 60.2. Azeez Ojulari, he was just in there for 7 snaps, 59.3. So hopefully, I would maybe even think about resting him up too against the Eagles, right? Because we need all hands on deck, not so much against the Eagles, but in the playoff game. If you're going to have a relatively he's not going to be totally healthy until next season rolls around, Leonard Williams, but I would give him 2 weeks off. But if you can give Azeez a week off to heal up that ankle, right? I don't know if Saquon's been overused, and so he needs a little bit of rest or whatever it is. But I would give Azeez some time off as well too. Justin Ellis was in there for 15 snaps, graded at 54.5. Leonard Williams was in there for 31 snaps. 53.9. I think he was in there. He came out, and once again, I don't think he went back in. Oshane Ximines was in there for 31 snaps, graded out of 52.2. Jason Pinnock was in there for 10 snaps, graded out of 50.9. Fabian Moreau was in there for 55 snaps, graded out of 49.5. Micah McFadden was in there for 24 snaps, graded out of 48.5. Henry Mondeau was in there for just 6 snaps. He graded out 47.9. Toman Fox, 14 snaps, graded out 47.2. Carter Coughlin was in there for 3 snaps, graded out 30.4. And Ryder Anderson was in there for 20 snaps. He graded at 30.3. So Carter Coughlin's good on special teams. He's just not. Unfortunately, we need somebody, like in the middle of the, inside linebacker. Okay. And he's just not quite cutting it. However, on special teams, he grades out of 65, right? So he's very good on special teams. Okay. So, I mean, let's see, what do we got here? Yeah. I mean, all 3 years, this year he's special teams. Wow. 371 snaps on special teams, graded out of 65. So he's a good contributor on special teams, even 2020 and 2021. So, but we'll have to wind up waiting and see if the Giants wind up bringing him, keeping him or whatever. But I mean, let's see, next year would it be his last year? It's hard to believe already. It's Carter Coughlin's 3rd year already. Next season will be his 4th year. His contract would be up with the Giants if they wind up keeping him. Hard to believe the way the time goes by. My goodness, it's freaking amazing. I know we go to the team grades. Man, I got just a freaking kick at it. Just some of these grades, they come up according to PFF. It's simply amazing. I mean, the Eagles. I mean, they had a couple injuries, right? I mean, we're one of the least injured teams in all of football, and they have a good record. Now they have a couple injuries. Okay, now all of a sudden they can't win a football game, right? Well, they're still the best overall. They're 92.7. Right, Minnesota, who's given up more points. They've given up, what are we at? 9. They've given up 9. They're 12-4, and they've actually given up 19 more points than they've scored. They have somehow, Pro Football Focus has them at a 91.4. They're the 4th highest. They're 12-4. They just lost by 342,000 points yesterday to the Packers, and they still somehow they're number 4 overall. I have no idea how. I mean, the Cowboys, who beat the Vikings by about 712,000 points, or have a worse overall grade than the Vikings. I have no idea how the Vikings are 91.4. According to Pro Football Focus. But the Giants, I mean, the Giants are number 29. We're 70.7, according to Pro Football Focus. We're only better than the Texans, the Bears, and the Cardinals. We're 9-6-1. And we're 70.7, which is not bad because we 70.7. That's the first time all year we've been, I think, we've been at a 70. So, but I mean, let's see who we got. The Raiders, who are 6-10, or they're graded at a 79. The Rams, who are 5-11, they have them at an 80.7 somehow. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. All right, the offensive grades. Chiefs are number 1, 84.9. Somehow the Eagles are number 2. They had like 300 yards of offense yesterday. 80 yards came on one pass play, and somehow they're number 2. The Falcons are number 3. The Falcons are 6-10, and they apparently somehow they have the 3rd highest rated offense. All right, the Giants offense. Let's see. The Giants are number 22. They're 70.7. So actually their overall team grade is a 70.7, and their offensive grade is a 70.7. All right, we got passing grades. Bengals number 1. I mean, but you kind of notice some of this. I mean, you look at the teams that have really good. I mean, like the Dolphins are up there, the Bills are up there, the Eagles are up there, the Chiefs are up there, the Bengals are up there. The Seahawks are up there. The teams that have like 2 good wide receivers, right? They have good, right? They're up there. The Giants are number 16. We're right in the middle of it. We're 70.5. Right, we have guys who are off the practice squad, off other teams' practice squads. We have Darius Slayton's running around. He was our 7th ranked wide receiver, I think, going into the season or something like that, and somehow we're number 16. So we're doing very good with what little we have. Pass blocking. The Eagles are number 1. They have like the best offensive line in all football. 81.8. The Giants are number 18. We're 65.4. Receiving grade. 49ers number 1, 83.9. The Giants, oh my God, the Giants, where the heck are the Giants at? Giants number 27, we're at 68. Ooh. Running grade. Now the Giants are up there. Giants are number 13, 85.9. Our running grade. Very, very impressive. We had over 200 yards rushing, right? So, Browns are number 1, 91.7. Packers are number 2, 91.4. Bills are number 3, 91.4. Run blocking. Falcons are number 1, 83.3. Giants are number 13, run blocking. 61.5, according to Pro Football Focus. Defensive grades. The Jets are number 1, 84.9. The Giants' defensive grade. Even after we beat the Colts yesterday, the Giants, according to Pro Football Focus, we're number 30, 57.4. Okay, so then we got to this one. We got run defense. The Giants are like one of the worst. The Rams are number 1, 90. Okay, the Giants are they number 32? No, that can't be 30. Giants are number 28, 46.5. The Bears are the worst, 31.8 is their run blocking, their run defense. So even as bad as the Giants' run defense has been, there's teams that are even worse out there. We got tackling. The Giants are not bad here. 49ers are number 1 at 90 because the 49ers have a very, very good solid defense. The Giants actually keep moving up. Giants are number 7, 76.1. According to Pro Football Focus, is the Giants, right? So there's only 6 teams that tackle better than the Giants, which is huge for the Giants. I mean, because you'll notice a lot of teams, maybe they moved down the field against the Giants. They had the one big pass, was it a 49-yarder? I think it was. The guy got in front of got in between Xavier McKinney and the ball, and he just jumped. That was a Pittman, I think it was. Maybe Pittman. He jumped up, the second drive of the game. No, first drive of the game, right? For the Colts, when they they got their field goal. He just jumped up and out-jumped Xavier McKinney. I think of Xavier was maybe had some, I don't know. Maybe had more, hadn't missed any time. Maybe he jumps up and maybe times that one better, knocks the ball away. He maybe jumps up and intercepts it possibly because that's kind of more in his wheelhouse, jumping up and picking it off. But I mean, usually what the Giants do is that, the other team just kind of most of the time, okay, the team walks down the field and they score points. It's a long drive. It's not like, they throw a whatever, 5-10 yard pass and a guy breaks 7 tackles on his way to a 50-yard gain, So, the Giants have done a very, very decent job at tackling this year, okay? Pass rush. So you got to be either the Cowboys or the Eagles number 1. Eagles are number 1, 85.3. The Eagles, the first time in Super Bowl, maybe possibly ever, they got 4 guys on their defensive line that have over 10 sacks. First time in Super Bowl. Wow. First time in Super Bowl history. I'm gonna say. I think it is. They got 4 guys that have over 10 sacks. I know there's been other teams that have teams that have had at least 3 guys with multiple, but or double digits. But it's the first time that they come up with that somebody team has 4 guys on a defensive front with multiple sacks. I think they had 7 sacks yesterday. They have I don't know what they have, over 60 sacks. They might have 70 sacks by the time the season's over with. If they do a number on the Giants next week, which, they sacked us a lot of times last time. So the Eagles might wind up with 70 sacks for the season. Yeah. Let's see. The Giants are pass rush. We're number 17, 70.5. Okay. So you figure we didn't get a lot of sacks yesterday. Because, Leonard Williams has been ailing with his neck. He only played half the snaps. Sexy Dex had a good game. Kayvon had a good game, but Azeez was hardly in there because of his ankle, right? So we weren't going full speed ahead against the Colts because we had some injured players. Coverage, the Broncos are number one, 89.2. The Giants are number 28. Pass coverage grade, 53.8 for the season. Special teams, at least the Giants didn't give up any big, huge plays on special teams. No block punts, which cost them a touchdown against the Vikings, which basically cost them the game, right? No fumble punts, which cost them the game, pretty kind of in a way helped cost them the game against the Seahawks, right? So they did a decent job yesterday, okay? But the Lions are number one, a 90.7, but the Giants still a horrible. Giants, according to Pro Football Focus, are graded number 27th overall. All right, 70.8. Right, I mean, it's not super duper horrible, but they have certainly, without question, they have room for improvement, but without question. I mean, I think a lot of injuries we've had, which I think certainly has hurt. But I mean, we something without question the Giants have to work on in the offseason because, I mean, as I said, we were, right now we're 9-6-1. Okay. And basically you can kind of say, I mean, indirectly, we lost 2 games because of special teams, and you can't have that. Cannot have that. Absolutely cannot have that. The block punt that was 7 points. I think it took them like 5 plays to score a touchdown. I think it was the Vikings. But I mean, if we punt the ball away and they have the ball at their own 30, now they have to drive 70 yards to score a touchdown. Right? I mean, they only scored where they scored 3 touchdowns. One of them was basically almost off of a punt. Right? So I mean, you take that one away, maybe the Giants win that game. You take the 2 fumbles that Richie James had against the Seahawks when the punt returns, 2 fumbles, right? Take those 2 away, right? The Seahawks had to march a little bit down the field and score touchdowns, but they wound up scoring 2 touchdowns. We gave them a short field. They scored 2 touchdowns. Was it 27 or 28-13 we lost to them? I mean, so, right? So, I mean, that hurt us right there. I mean, it's the special teams, okay, and the turnovers has been, when the Giants are, like we're playing against the Eagles here, right? If we start turning the ball over left and right, you can pretty much kiss the game goodbye. I mean, we're not. Jalen Hurts is supposed to be playing. The Eagles want to win this one because they want to secure the first round bye. Okay, so they're going to play, right? They're home. They want to play. They want to win. I mean, this could be. I mean, if the Giants start getting messy and turnovers and all and sacks and this and that, and everything, it could be almost as ugly. Could certainly, without question, be almost as ugly as it was a few weeks ago when the Eagles kicked the crap out of us here in Jersey. So the Giants got to be very, very careful. I mean, the Eagles are hungry. They're at home. The crowd's just going to be going bananas. I mean, there'll be some Giant fans there. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fights in the stands, but the drunk Eagle fans will be out there in force without question. And there's a big. I mean, it's a big game for the Giants too because I just don't want to hand the division to the Eagles. The Eagles beat the Giants. The Eagles embarrassed the Giants a couple weeks ago. So I mean, the Giants, they have a little revenge on their hands, I know the Dallas Cowboys are big Giant fans, right? But you just don't want to hand the Eagles the division. No, absolutely not. So you want to go in there, but I mean, it can turn ugly in a hurry because the Eagles have a very good team. Very good team. I mean, the defensive front, their secondary. I mean, the safeties maybe, but I mean, the 2 cornerbacks they got, right? Offensive line is really good. Jalen Hurts is a special talent. Sanders is a very good running back. And what makes it even better is because he is such a, it's everything, right? Sanders is so much better. Why? Well, because Jalen Hurts, good quarterback, but, there's always the threat of him running, right? If you had, Nick Foles back there, a statue, just turning around, there's no threat of him running. Well, Sanders, but on every play, every time Hurts turns around and looks like he's going to hand the ball, if you got to count for 2 people, without question. You got to count for Sanders and you got to count for Hurts every play. Okay. Minshew Mania. He wasn't running. They did, for whatever reason, they just didn't seem to have him run. Every time he turned around and handed the ball, it was getting handed off. Okay. But I mean, it's everything. I mean, it's the offensive line. You got, everything works off everything. You got DeVonta Smith, right, on one side, Brown on the other. I mean, those two guys, Goddard, the tight end, very solid tight end, big, huge target, good hands, right? As I once I keep saying, the offensive line, Hurts is a freaking threat, right? Anytime he has the ball, so I mean, it's just everything works off of everything, right? I mean, it's where, like with the Giants, as I said, I mean, the one touchdown they had yesterday, right? Minshew just heaved the ball like 80 yards to Brown, right? Just throw it down there, right? The Giants don't do that. Why? Well, because we don't have anybody, I mean, every now and then Slayton, okay, but I mean, he Brown, right? He's not, we don't have those guys, okay? And a lot of times, sometimes Daniel Jones can't stand in the pocket that long without getting his head taken off, right? The Eagles can afford Hurts that time because they're very, very good. So I mean, I said it could. I certainly hope not, because I freaking despise the Eagles. I hope we beat them by 3,000 freaking points. Not going to happen, right? But I'm just trying to, just trying to speak the truth. It could get ugly. What we did to the Colts, if the Giants aren't careful, that could happen to. I mean, 38-10 could be the score. The Eagles could be the Giants 38-10 without question. Without question in my mind. I mean, it could be very, very ugly. So the Giants really, really have to watch their P's and Q's against the Eagles. I mean, it's, as I said, we got revenge on our mind, but the Eagles want that game. All right, so it's been 36, almost 37 minutes. Somebody gave me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I greatly, greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Anybody spent any time at all watching any of this, or anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. And as always, guys, stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!